The future: will and going to, shall.
What will you do on Friday, Rukun?
I'm going to visit my Uncle Dean on Friday.
Then shall I come on Saturday to work on our school assignment?
No problem. We shall start the assignment on Saturday, and Balbir is also going to join us that night.
That is great to know. He will be the right person to assist us. As he is full of ideas, will you come with your brother?
Yes, I shall come with my brother.
In the dialogues, the boys have used verbs that speak about an action that is going to take place in the future, and also about something that we have decided to do something before talking about it. Here are some examples of sentences with verbs in future tense. What will you do on a Friday? I'm going to visit my Uncle Dean on Friday. Then, shall I come on Saturday to work on our school assignment? He will be the right person to assist us. Definition: future tense is used to talk about things which we think or believe will happen in the future. Let us look at few sentences. I think India will win the match. It is raining. I will take an umbrella. The headmaster is going to give a dinner tomorrow night. In the first and second sentences, will win and will take are future tense as they speak about actions that we believe to happen in the future. In the last sentences is going to give is future tense as it tells about an activity that is on the point of happening. Here are few more examples of sentences with verbs in future tense. I'm going to Shimla tomorrow. Look, the cracker is going to explode. My parents will be there. Future continuous. Will be doing.
Doctor, can I see you at 5 o'clock?
Please don't come then. I will be performing an operation.
This time tomorrow, will it be suitable for you?
I'm sorry. This time tomorrow I won't be available as my secretary will be waiting for me at Indira Gandhi Airport. On Saturday afternoon I'm free. Why don't you come to the clinic?
Okay, doctor. I shall be meeting you at the clinic on Saturday afternoon.
Thank you, doctor. In the dialogues, the doctor and the patient have used verbs in the future continuous tense to talk about actions which will be in progress at a time in the future. Here are some sentences with verbs in future continuous tense. Please don't come then. I will be performing an operation. This time tomorrow I won't be available as my secretary will be waiting for me at Indira Gandhi Airport. Okay, doctor. I shall be meeting you at the clinic on Saturday afternoon. Thank you, doctor. Definition: future continuous tense is used to talk about actions which will be in progress at a time in the future or which are already planned or which are expected to happen in the normal course of things. Let us look at a few sentences. I will be making dinner when he arrives tonight. By 2030, most people in India will be living in urban areas. Will you be going to the next meeting in December? In the first sentence, the verb will be making is used in future progressive tense to indicate that a longer action in the future will be interrupted by a shorter action in the future. In the second sentence, the future continuous tense is used for predictions or expected trends in the future. In the last sentence, the future continuous tense is used to make polite inquiries when we wish to know what somebody's plans are. Here are few more examples of sentences with verbs in future continuous tense. The lyricist will be writing a realistic song for the film. Will you be going to the concert of realistic songs? I will not be attending the program because of my busy schedule. B2 plus infinitive. I'm to do, future perfect. I will have done. You are to do your homework before you can go out.
But mother, I have to go for my tennis class. By 8, I will have done my homework.
Will you have finished your work by the time dinner is ready?
Yes, Mom. Do you think Father will have arrived from the office by 9 p.m. tonight?
Yes, I think so.
Mr. Roy is to visit our house at 10 p.m. tonight. His meeting with Father is to discuss some business plans.
I shall have finished my work by then. In the dialogues, we find the verbs in be, to plus base form, and future perfect tense to speak about official plans and arrangements and to talk about actions that will be completed by a certain future time respectively. Here are some sentences with verbs in, be, to plus infinitives, and in future perfect tense. You are to do your homework before we can go out. By 8, I will have done my homework. Will you have finished your work by the time dinner is ready? Do you think Father will have arrived from the office by 9 p.m. tonight? Mr. Roy is to visit our house at 10 p.m. tonight. His meeting with Father is to discuss some business plans. I shall have finished my work by then. Usage. We use be plus to plus base form to talk about official plans and arrangements. It is used in a formal style, often in news reports. Be is usually left out in headlines. The future perfect expresses the idea that something will occur before another action in the future. It can also show that something will happen before a specific time in the future. Let us look at a few sentences. You will have heard about the downfall of the Junta government. I shall have finished writing this book by the end of the next month. The Prime Minister is to visit America next month. In the first and second sentences, will have heard and shall have finished are future perfect tense as they spoke about actions that will complete at some time in the future. In the last sentence, is to visit is used in a formal style as be2 plus base form to talk about official plan. Here are few more examples. You want to spend 10 years in Europe. By that time, you will have visited every major city then. In 2020, they will have worked here for 20 years. We are to receive a pay rise in line with inflation in September. The Ministry of Trade and Industry has announced that it is to move 3,000 jobs out of the capital and relocate them in the northeast. Future perfect continuous. I will have been doing.
Who will have been waiting for 30 minutes by the time your wife arrives? My kids will have been waiting for 30 minutes by the time my wife arrives. Where are your family members now? Everyone is at church. What will they have been doing there? By the time the priest finishes his sermon, they will have been listening to him preach for an hour. How long he will have been talking? He will have been talking for over an hour by the time he finishes.
In the dialogues, verbs used in future perfect continuous tense to talk about actions which will be in progress over a period of time that will end in the future. Here are some sentences with verbs in future perfect continuous tense. Who will have been waiting for 30 minutes by the time your wife arrives? My kids will have been waiting for 30 minutes by the time my wife arrives. What will they have been doing there? By the time the priest finishes his sermon, they will have been listening to him preach for an hour. How long he will have been talking? He will have been talking for over an hour by the time he finishes. Definition: Future perfect continuous tense is a form of the verb that shows the action or state that will continue until some point in the future. To express time for or since is used. Let us look at a few sentences. John will be tired when he returns because he will have been painting the window outside the whole afternoon. Mary will perform like the best dancer after the lessons because she will have been rehearsing dancing for 3 weeks. At the end of the night, Laura will be very professional, even though she will have been working for the entire evening. In these sentences, will have been painting, will have been rehearsing, and will have been working are verbs in future perfect continuous tense as they speak about actions that will continue up until sometime in the future. Here are few more examples of sentences with verbs in future perfect continuous tense. This December, the magician will have been doing magic professionally for 25 years. When I finish this course, I will have been learning English for 20 years. I will have been teaching for 20 years next July. The future seen from the past was going to, etc. You are home early? I thought you were going to play squash with Ritu tonight.
We were just starting the game when the fire broke out.
Thank God there were no casualties. I hoped you were going to have time to practice for your upcoming match, but you didn't.
I too aimed to work out, Mama. But I did not realize that the situation would get worse like this.
It is well said. Man proposes, God disposes.
Don't worry, Mom. We are almost sure that we will do better this time.
I knew you would be able to do it. In the dialogues, the mother and the daughter have used future in the past to express the idea that in the past they thought something would happen in future. It is frequently used where some anticipated event does not occur or an expectation is cancelled. Consider these examples for the future seen from the past. I thought you were going to play squash with Ritu tonight. We were just starting the game when the fire broke out. I hoped you were going to have time to practice for your upcoming match, but you didn't. I knew you would be able to do it. Usage. Future in the past is used to express the idea that in the past you thought something would happen in the future. Future in the past follows the same basic rules as the simple future. Would is used to volunteer or promise and was going to used to plan. Moreover, both forms can be used to make predictions about the future. Future in the past cannot be used in clauses beginning with time, expressions such as when, while, before, after, by the time, as soon as, if, unless, etc. Let us look at a few sentences. When I heard that Queenie was going to leave Britain to start a new life in Canada, I was quite upset. I didn't think my music would disturb her, but it did. I thought I would have finished that report by noon and then we could have watched the tennis, but it took longer than expected. In these sentences, was going to, would, and would have finished are the verbs that express the ideas that you planned or promised to do and they didn't. Here are few more examples. Mary was going to tell me a secret, but she didn't. The game was going to be played at 2 p.m., but it rained, so they postponed the starting time. Originally, Malavika and Jyoti weren't going to come, but they changed their minds and came.